All right, business builders, what's up? This is our first video of this new series, and the time of this recording, we're right after Christmas 2021, and just want to hope and wish that everybody had a tremendous holidays, Christmas. We're coming up on the new year, coming up on 2022, which is one, baffling, but two, exciting. It's crazy how fast this year's went. We always say that, but time moves at the same speed. I want to jump right in. We're going to be talking this month all about how to build and maintain a magnetic culture. One of the things, and if you don't know me, my name's Winston Davis. I run a company called Move Up Consulting. We are the #1 company in the moving and storage industry when it comes to recruiting, hiring, and retaining talent. We also specialize in culture building. Whole point of doing these videos in this Facebook group, or also if you check this out on our YouTube channel, is we just want to give a lot of value. We understand that the value exchange, if we provide you an immense amount of content and value and information that helps you, whether it's personally or in your business or what, then we know that it would be reciprocated tenfold. And the book I read says 100-fold. So that's what I'm going for. So let's jump in. So create a magnetic culture. The first thing I want to talk about this week is actually kind of really what I have found to be the worst part of business, which is firing and letting go of people. So I wanted to start with that this week. And some of the things that we're going to talk about moving forward are going to be more like enhancers and builders of the culture. This video is an enhancer, but we're talking about removing cancerous people out of your culture. How do you fire someone? How do you identify what are the signs to let somebody go? How do you leverage your team to help you make that decision? Because at the end of the day, if you're the owner, the CEO of your business, it's your responsibility to make sure that you have a clean, proper, uplifting culture. So let's jump in. So obviously firing's never fun. I have fired people. You may watch on movies or something where they're just like, belting at the person and just ripping them.
Parker, hello, you're fired.
I've never found that to be a good idea in real reality of business. The best way to let people go is to have and write this down, a mutual conversation. Okay, a mutual conversation. So some of the things that I do, personally, I'm a big proponent on giving people multiple chances. Just because somebody makes a mistake, whether it's small or big, permitting it's not an unethical problem. Okay, so we'll come back to that. If they make a mistake in the business, then usually a mistake or a problem is a result of a process, not a person. So that's generally where you really need to look. But you may also need to look at the person, because the person is executing that process. And if you've taught and really solidified your processes, then if the people or the person is not executing, then it would be a person problem. So let's talk about that identifying part. So I tend to only fire people mainly due to unethical things. So those would be lying, stealing, cheating, creating mutiny in your business, which sounds kind of funny. Sounds like a pirate thing.
Mutiny, Captain.
Again.
Mutiny.
But mutiny, meaning like they're creating division in your group, right? Especially moving companies, like that is a real thing. And if you've got this alpha dog, alpha male person starting to like kind of pull people to their side and their opinion and their thinking, you see I put a lot of quotations on that. Like that is that mutiny being created. So that to me is unethical, because it's not mission focused with the mission of the company and the team. The best way to decide on what is unethical and what is not is something that I always go by and I teach. You always hire and fire by your core values. So if you do not have core values, then you should really be looking at that and thinking about what is your company about. Okay, at the end of the day, who are you? What are your values, principles, and non-negotiables, right? So when I let people go, it's usually based on those things, based on the company core values. You may, though, Okay, so if you have somebody that's doing something unethical, that's actually pretty easy, in my opinion. You know, if they're doing something unethical, you move on that right away, and you have to let those people go. Everything's a case-by-case scenario, right? You should always sit down and have that mutual conversation, hear all sides of the story. But if it's something unethical, you know, I usually just don't have tolerance for it. Now, what if you have somebody that they're a good person, they're just not performing? That's what's harder. And you can find yourself in a lot of problems by keeping people around that do not fit. Either A, they're not performing, or they don't really fit your company attitude and culture, but you're not really wanting to make that decision or do that thing of letting that person go or having that conversation. Typically, I will just do that conversation like this. And again, this is, you've already brought this up with the individual. You've given them multiple opportunities. You've already let them know, hey, Tom, you know, we noticed that, you know, this hasn't been great. Okay, this isn't quite the standard that we want to perform at. This is what we want you to get better at. We're going to do an evaluation again in 2 weeks or in 4 weeks, and we're going to revisit some of these things. You need to give that person an improvement plan or an action plan, okay? If you want people to be successful, right? You're not doing this business, right? If you're just coming in and saying, yep, this guy doesn't work, throw him out. You know, you got, in my opinion, you got to let people develop. You got to train them. You got to give them feedback. So this is after you've done that process. Okay, after I've already had a couple talks with them, I'm then going to do that conversation where I'm saying, hey, Tom, obviously, you know, we've had a couple talks and stuff. We've talked about some of your performance and your time here. What do you think? And so I will, if I'm sitting down in that one-on-one meeting, I'm just going to put the ball in their court and see what they say. The truth is that most people that are not performing well in your business, it's because they're not happy. They're not happy, like they don't really want to be there. So here's the deal. You kind of just got to let it be out in the open and let it be okay to be talked about. So I'll say, hey, what do you think? And I won't really give my opinion yet. I'll just say, hey, we've had a couple conversations on your performance and how you fit in with our team. You know, what do you think so far? And then whatever based off of they say, you know, I'll usually follow up with, you know, to me, this is what I'm seeing. It seems like you just really aren't happy here. Seems like there might be something else you would rather do. Is that true? Right? And they might say yes. And then I'll say, wouldn't you rather be doing something that you really enjoy and that you're happy doing? And what I'm doing is I'm making it okay for them to get out. And because honestly, you know, if it's just not the right thing for them, if they're, you know, especially moving, right? We have this happen all the time, moving. If this is just not the job for them, give them the out, you know? Don't make them feel like, you know, a piece of crap.
I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
You know, just say, hey, this just might not be the right thing for you. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. Let me give you a bit of advice, though. This is harder to do when you're a smaller company, much easier as you get bigger, but every single person has different skill sets. Okay, different people have different skill sets. So that person may not fit very well in a mover role, but they might work out great in a CSR role or, you know, maybe an estimator role. And so one of the best things you can do is really get good at figuring out what people are, their strengths are, what they're great at, and feel free to move people around. Again, it's easier as your company gets larger. You have more positions and departments that you can fill. The thing that I usually look at is, you know, one, have I given this person multiple opportunities? Is it just a performance thing? If it's an attitude thing, you know, that kind of attitude's going to go in a little bit of performance for me. Attitude isn't necessarily ethics. And so a lot of times we get frustrated with our employees because of their attitude. Their attitude's not great, usually because they don't want to be there. So again, it just all circles back. And again, it's that mutual conversation. A big proponent, don't blow up on people. Don't burn bridges. Just as bad as a negative review from a customer, it's even worse a negative experience from a past employee. And that can really burn you. I think you don't see those like reviews, right? They're not online as much, but they're real. And you know, the saying is one bad review equals 10 good reviews. When it comes to customers, I would say it's double. One bad review from an employee is equivalent to 20 good ones. And so it's so important that you don't burn bridges, don't blow up on people. This isn't like the Wolf of Wall Street scene where, you know, the guy's cleaning his fishbowl and the guy comes over there and just rips him.
A new issue day!
Don't do that, okay? The whole point here is you need to have a mutual conversation, and the result is if you don't do that, if you do not fire the person that's not performing well or that doesn't fit your team great, okay? The things that will happen is that everyone else is going to know. Everybody else is going to know that that guy Tim, he ain't a fit here. Or that person, you know, Bill, not a fit here. That person Josh, not a fit here. Everybody else on the team is going to know that. And so what happens is you as an owner lose, they look at you as a weak owner. You lose your trust with your team because they don't believe that you'll make the big decisions anymore. They don't have faith that you'll make the call when the call needs to be made. And over time, what's going to happen is that people will not invest into the company nearly as much when it comes to, you know, physically, emotionally, you know, psychologically, and then in any other way. So they're not going to invest themselves as much because they're like, why would I put my investment here, right? This isn't good soil to invest in, right? So you're going to really have a hard time if you don't let people go that should be let go of. And again, it's easily the worst part of being in business. It's not fun. But I believe that if you keep the relationship good, it's not a big ethical reason why you're firing. Help that person out, you know, help them find another place to work. And that's huge. You know, you don't have to do that. But hey, if it's just not a right fit, you should be, as a business owner, well connected. Give them 2 or 3 contacts of managers or business owners locally that for jobs that you think might be better for them. And one, those business owners will be happy that they're getting a referral from you. But then also, it's good for the person that just worked for you. So again, it's a mutual conversation. Okay, you should hire and fire by your core values and your principles. Okay, and this is one of the first steps. If you're trying to figure out for this coming year, 2022, I want to get a magnetic, rock solid culture. Probably the best place to start is get out any of the junk. Clean out any of the cancerous people that are really holding you back. Because if you plug good people into your team with that real cancerous person, a bad apple will sour the whole bunch. So super important. I know this is a much longer video than normal, but there's a lot of pieces into this that I think a lot of us could just really benefit from. So we'll have another video every single week. We'll be giving you free training. Okay, all this is free, right? We don't charge money for this. All we ask is that you give us a like, okay? Make some engagement with us. If you see this on YouTube, subscribe. If you're seeing this in our private Facebook group, drop a comment. Let us know if this is helpful. And we'll be coming again the rest of this month. We're going to be doing sessions on how to build and maintain a magnetic culture. So be looking out for next week's video, and we'll see you guys then.